Okay, well, actually, I have nothing to start the show this time. I couldn't think of anything funny. I just had writer's block or brain fart or whatever you want to call it. So, you know what? I'm just going to go back to Old Faithful. I'm just going to give the ladies what they want. Shirtless Gary, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tuesday at 6:30. You know what that means. I'm just sitting there the entire weekend or whatever, even today, all day long. I'm like, I have nothing to open the show with. What the hell am I supposed to do? Anyway, welcome to the Essential Wrestling Podcast, powered by the Eastern Observer. This is episode 41. I guess this is my episode, right? I guess that's what, 41 years old. I can't believe it. The gray hairs are coming in. I don't know. Things are just getting away from me. But we are glad you are joining us wherever you are watching and or listening, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, or on replay on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and all of the Eastern Observer platforms. Welcome again to the Essential Wrestling Podcast. Joined us once again on the bottom part of our screen, as always, the first ever PWP champion, the living legend, John DeConnie. John, how are things today?
Not bad, sir. Not bad. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. Glad this is 2 weeks in a row back in the chair for me. I think I'm going to be around next week. Finally getting back in the swing of things. I think I'm suspended from the Daily Wrestling News Show. They keep on bumping me for interviews. But when Ryan comes on, I got to tell him to make sure to tell his mother. I know Mama Joy is very concerned about me. Mama Joy, I am okay. Everything is good to go. Ryan has got bigger and better things for his show, and I'm treating him on, cheering him on. On the top right part of the screen, a man who needs no introduction.
John Smith.
Yeah.
I actually heard that you're not doing the Daily Wrestling News Show because you saw how good I've been doing at trivia and you don't want to lose your crown.
That's it. No, Ryan, I can't do it. But exactly, I'm running scared. I can't catch you in the NXT standings. I gotta run away from trivia.
People are talking.
That's what I'm hearing. And speaking of people talking, I see King Kong Bundy's got a friend right behind you, pal.
Oh yeah, Tony. Thanks again for that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, my wife picked it up from Sideline Sports for you. So that was your Valentine from my wife. I don't know if I should be looking too deep into that or not. On today's show, Rich Swan retained the Impact Championship at No Surrender, only to get jumped for his efforts. The Bullet Club with another statement win on Dynamite. Gary Mehaffy is back with us to discuss the street fight from NXT UK last Thursday, along with the loaded card that is upcoming this Thursday. It is absolutely incredible. Love the NXT UK. Ryan Joy from the Daily Wrestling News Show at minutestobelltime.com. He will join me to discuss the upcoming, I guess they announced some Ring of Honor stuff. We got New Japan, MLW. I believe Low-Key's in a fight coming up. I'm all about that in MLW, so Ryan will be here to discuss that. I'm going to reveal number 8 on my top 30 favorite WrestleMania matches, which means I believe we are 9 days away. Actually, from what I remember from TakeOver on Sunday, it was 55. So we're like 53 days away from WrestleMania. So our countdown will hopefully conclude when it comes down to the Showcase of the Immortals in the beginning of April. Make sure you stay tuned to the end of the show to hear the details on how to win the Jim the Anvil Neidhart autograph picture, courtesy of Sideline Sports and WWE Memorabilia. This week's picks for the upcoming shows are presented, you see the graphics and statistics presented by minutestobelltime.com. And as always, sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. And guys, she'll like it too. We're going to main event our show with those picks. We're going to be picking the Elimination Chamber this Sunday, the annual event in WWE that is on the road to WrestleMania. We're not in the fast lane yet. We're just still on the road, still in the medium lane, I guess. But this is one of the big events that sets us up for WrestleMania, so I'm excited. But we're going to curtain jerk the show Sunday night at Vengeance. John Smith, you wanted to cover the main event. It looked like Adam Cole was he was giving out super kicks for fun.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming, but it didn't shock me, if that makes any sense. I think we all have been waiting for this for a while. Of course, Balor won the match. I mean, Pete Dunne put on a hell of a show. They told a hell of a story. Pete Dunne just going after those fingers the entire match. I don't know how they do that without him actually breaking fingers, but, we'll leave that up to the magicians. But after the match is where the story really is, man. The Undisputed Era comes out to make the save because Borkin and Lurch came out to attack Balor. Then all of a sudden they try to do the Undisputed. I don't even know how to do it. The two hands have to do two different things. It's too much for me. But yeah, there you go. I think. I don't know.
I got it backwards.
Finn was about to throw it up. I don't even know how he would have been able to throw it up with those fingers, but instead he called a super kick right to the chin. And Roddy and Kyle were not on board with it, and they were kind of yelling at him. And then Kyle got kicked in the face, and Roddy was just left standing there like, he's like the man in the middle now. Are they even broken up? Is this just like a rift? Like, why would you even talk to me like that in front of the universe? Why would you go against a decision that I would make like that? So yeah, you get a kick too, but we're still friends. Maybe that's the case, but I would like to see the breakup at this point because we've been waiting for it for so long,
Yeah, it was actually kind of funny, John. We were watching it together, and I remember there was a table for three. On the WWE Network, the special, the table for three was Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, and I believe it was Ricochet. And Gargano was talking about, I guess, the graphic that's on the bottom part of the screen that kind of signifies that the show is ending. I forget what it's called. But Gargano was always joking around. He's like, I see that thing, and I still twitch to this day because that came up, and that's when Ciampa threw him into the Titantron in Chicago, and that started that whole thing. And that's what happened. So the graphic came up, and I'm just like, he looks like he's going to super kick him down. And then, boom, got him. But it came up again, and then he kicked the rest. You get the double ending, the double fake ending right there. And Cole went past it. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But, yeah, he thought it was over. He was set up for it. So, to be continued with the Undisputed Era, whether or not this is going to affect Finn Balor, if he's going to go after Cole, if we're going to see that again. They had the amazing Iron Man match. So, John DeConnie, earlier in the night, we saw history. A lot of us were on Shotzi and Ember. Pretty much I said, my thing was this is very remnant of what Finn Balor and Samoa Joe did in the first men's Dusty Cup. I think it was like 2016 or 15, way back when. Not to be.
No, and I picked Dakota and Raquel, but I spent the whole lead up to the show after the picks were in, after we talked about it last week, doubting myself because I said they're not gonna have heel teams win both Dusty Cups, right? And I was so positive about the men's, I didn't, certainly didn't see that coming, but it turned out, yes, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez took the first ever women's Dusty Cup. They had some trouble early on. Ember hit an eclipse, and it was almost over, but Dakota was able to distract the ref, allowing that to get broken up. They battled for a solid 18 minutes, just a fantastic women's match. I'm not, except on NXT, I'm not often laudatory when it comes to the female performers, but they just never disappoint on NXT. So it ended with they had modified. There was no ramp. There was just a platform coming out right from the Titantron to the ring from that one side of the ring. So at one point, Raquel was out there with Ember. She sent her flying off the ramp, kind of getting her out of the equation. Wound up back inside the ring. Used that powerful one-arm power slam, choke slam, whatever you want to call it. And both Raquel and Dakota double covered Shotzi and won the first ever women's Dusty Cup.
Yeah, and good for them. You know, like I said, Raquel's been on a roll lately. Dakota Kai has just been on fire since turning heel, and I thought she was really good even before she turned on Tegan. But they and the fun part about this, and I was excited to hear it before the match started, they actually did announce the winner of this match would get a tag title match. So now it's going to be interesting to see where Dakota and Raquel, I guess if you want to call it a cash in this title shot. Whether they bring Shayna and Nia to NXT, and we all know what Shayna can do in NXT. I don't know if you want to do that, but maybe WrestleMania, maybe. I think that would be fun. I think that would be really awesome to reward the first ever. Maybe not going forward, but if you're going to do this for the first time, let the winners have it. At WrestleMania. John, on the men's side, I mean, our jaws dropped. Our jaws. Everybody picked Shotzi, and then they dropped even harder when these so-called crutches that Trey Miguel was referring to on Impact last week. I think Nash and Wes heard him.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely the tag team match of the year, in my opinion, so far, across the board in any promotion. I mean, they put on a hell of a show. The ending still baffles me that you would have, relative no names, when it comes to, WWE fans, typically don't know Impact guys. You have them come in and beat one of literally grizzled young veterans.
Yeah.
And my first tip off that they might be losing was when Gibson cut a promo before the match. And I mean, I could see that before every other match, but I figured the promo would come after this match.
Okay. That's fair.
And I mean, I was watching with you, but I didn't voice that opinion because I didn't want to speak it into existence, but I guess it didn't matter either way. But, I mean, good for the MSK. I mean, as long as they keep it moving forward and, they keep building this tag team division, they don't necessarily have to win the titles. But, I mean, nothing bad I could say. Like I said, this is match of the year in the tag team so far. So, I mean, I can't even do it justice by telling you how it went. I would suggest if you haven't watched it yet to go back and give it a nice look and keep your phone out of your hands.
Yeah, Wesley. I thought Wesley shined in that match. I mean, and Nash did great and everything. I just thought that was Wesley, or what do you call it, Desmond Xavier, he was a former TNA X Division champion. So it's not like, he could go. And I just thought he completely shined. I was happy. Good for MSK. Io Shirai, she got the title defense. She got the win over Mercedes Martinez and Toni Storm after hitting her moonsault on Toni Storm, who was covering Martinez. So Io Shirai retained the NXT Women's Championship. I will get to her numbers in 1 second because she actually made some a little bit of history last night with that win. But John DeConnie, the North American champion, he did just as well.
I know Johnny doesn't have, he puts on fantastic matches at takeovers, but he doesn't have the greatest win-loss record. Man, it does not matter because that match was 25 minutes of just wow. I mean, the psychology in the match, I mean, every single move, everything Kushida did either worked on Johnny's arm or set him up for the next move to work on Johnny's arm. Everything Johnny did worked on Kushida's neck to set him up for the one final beat.
No, you keep going. No, just a random comment.
Yeah.
That's your watching, Martin. We love TNA too.
Nice. So these two, just like John Smith said about the tag match, it would do it no justice to try and go through it minute by minute. I'll just tell you that the closing sequence was one final beat outside the ropes onto that platform that was leading to the ring, and then a one final beat back inside for the 1, 2, 3. But Johnny Gargano is just he plays the chicken bleep heel to perfection. He does it on the mic almost as well as Chris Jericho in his prime, and in the ring he's eerily reminiscent of like HBK. He's just untouchable in the ring. And the crazy thing is there's more than one person you could say that about down at NXT. Their in-ring work is just amazing. But Johnny adds the great mic work, and he's just like he can have fun being a goofball, or he can have he can do it straight. But I can't say enough good stuff about this match, about this whole pay-per-view, if you will. They just don't disappoint on NXT.
No, they do not. And as I say, that was Kushida's just as much in that conversation as well. Like I said, that was a great pairing. I know everybody wanted to see Kushida win. I just thought Johnny's just too hot right now. I picked Johnny. I think he's just too funny. On Wednesday, I was watching NXT with John Smith. Like, we were dying with the things that Johnny was saying. When he was trying with his left arm or his right arm, I'm sorry, was shattered in like 7 places. And, no, it's your left arm. That's hurt. It says arm. But no, that stands for really hurt. He was on fire. He was absolutely on fire. Gonna wrap this takeover up real quick. What they said, Io Shirai threw up some numbers here. That was her 9th match in takeover history. That now puts her in the top 10. She's now tied for 10th in all-time takeover appearances. That win gives her 5. That also puts her tied for 10th in takeover history and 3rd amongst women. She's trailing Asuka, who has 10, and Shayna Baszler, who has 7. So Io Shirai is now creeping towards that top tier in NXT takeover history. She's tied for 6th in singles competition wins with that 5th win. She's also tied for 6th now with her 4th championship match win. And it's a 4-match win streak that she won the title in your house when she beat Charlotte and Rhea. She defended against Dakota Kai, then Candice LeRae, and then this past Sunday against Mercedes Martinez and Toni Storm. And on a more sour note, a more sad note, Ember Moon and Pete Dunne, both with that loss, have now cracked the top 10 in most losses in TakeOver history. That was both of their 5th. They are chasing Johnny Gargano, who has 15, and I believe he is double the person who's in 2nd place. So, also on NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day, we saw the debut on the pre-show of LA Knight, which, for those who don't speak TNA or NWA, that is Eli Drake. Yeah. Dummy. So he's officially signed, and he is going to be an absolute treat. He is absolutely phenomenal on the microphone, and he's phenomenal in the ring. So I'm excited to see L.A. Knight in NXT. And it was also reported, a little bit of news, going to be stealing the Daily Wrestling News Show's gimmick for a quick second here. It was also reported that Tommy Dreamer was in fact correct. For the crime of shooting Johnny Bravo, Ty Valkyrie has been sentenced to Stanford Maximum Penitentiary. She's going to be in the new admissions wing, though. But you gotta take Dreamer's word for it. It will change a person's soul forever. So Ty Valkyrie will be debuting. I guess she's going to be training at the PC to go into NXT. Couple other real quick things from last week's NXT. Xia Li, I guess she came out. She defeated Cora Jade real quick. Casey and Kaden were down there. Xia, this isn't you. And they both got whooped for that. So they disrespected whatever. I can't remember. Tang Sung. I don't know, the 1,000-year-old dragon, right? She sold her soul to a dragon. So she got disrespected, and Xia made sure that will not happen ever again. And she apologized for it too. John Smith, I'm not the one that wants to speak for you and actually start handing out Smitties already in February. But if Cameron Grimes is not the if that wasn't the segment of the year, if we don't hear this come back up in late December 2021, I don't know what's going to beat this. Cameron Grimes is after. You can take this one. Cameron Grimes.
I would have never in a million years thought that that's going to be how Cameron Grimes came back on our TVs. I figured he would just, do some sort of heel tactic, interfere with somebody who's his next program. But no, this is the way to go. He's a GameStop / Dogecoin millionaire. He's driving a Lamborghini. He just put out his first single. I think it's called "To the Moon." To the moon.
Going back to James Wheeler real quick. James Wheeler probably the funniest comment I've seen in a long time. So in this, if I believe this kid, he turned 15 last week, and how he gets this reference, and maybe from Christmas Vacation, the way are the Griswolds of professional wrestling. Very well done, James. That is 100% accurate. The Griswolds. And then John Smith, I'm gonna stick with you real quick. We actually have a match, the match you've been waiting for, the heel on heel action you've been waiting for. This Wednesday, we're going to get Karrion Kross and Santos Escobar. Obviously, this will be non-title since Karrion Kross is probably about 50 pounds over 205, if not more. So, John Smith, who do you have with this one?
Ooh, I can't wait for this one, man. I've gotten me. I win this match. Just from watching it, I'm gonna make sure I'm watching it alone, just in case. But no, for real. Unless the Legado gets involved and they make this like a long program, which I would not be opposed to, I've got Karrion Kross destroying him in a decently long match, like a 7 or 8 minute, Santos gets the eye poke to gain the advantage type of match. And, but I can't wait to see these two guys work together.
Yeah. John DeConnie, any quick thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to think of a way that Santos gets the win here, but I think it's going to be, it won't be a squash, but I'm pretty sure it will be a destruction by the end.
Yeah, I think Legato's going to. There's not going to be a pinfall in this. This is going to be a disqualification win for Kross. These were our standings after this past week's takeover. Kind of tough on our end. As I said, a lot of us didn't have Dakota and Raquel. None of us, I don't think. Oh, I'm sorry. Ryan Joy had MSK. Kudos to Ryan Joy. Everybody else had Grizzled Young Veterans. Tyler, that's a first, I think. I don't think I've ever seen anybody put up a squadouche in PWP history, but Tyler manages a way to make that happen. So shout out to the sheriff of the Essential Wrestling Podcast, Tyler Adelle. Gentlemen, we are going to bid you adieu for a little bit. Go get some groceries, say hi to your loved ones, and we will see you shortly because it is that wonderful time where we get to bring in shirtless Gary. Oh, he's got his shirt on. There we go. Gary, top of the evening to you. How are things?
Not too bad. I think we should turn this into something like Twitch, where if we get enough votes or get enough things, I promise to never do it shirtless. I have enough problems looking at myself in the mirror. I don't think anybody else wants to either. But
so, Gary, before we get into the UK, we're just gonna stop. We'll just keep going with NXT real quick. I know you said you watched Takeover. Finn Balor and Pete Dunne are your guys, so I want to make sure you have your chance to say your piece.
I mean, it was just a masterclass. I mean, now the entire Takeover itself was brilliant, but their match was just from start to finish absolute class. I was shocked that Balor beat him just so cleanly as he did, to be fair about it. And I did think, I had said previously, I thought Pat McAfee might come back and get involved or do something, but it was just an absolutely tremendous match. There was no like thoughts of let's go over the top on the massive big moves initially. It was a lot of mat wrestling, a lot of stuff, just a showcase of two guys to go, do you know what? Go and do what you can. And they just showed everybody that they are amazing. So it was a treat for me to watch, having seen them for years, obviously coming through, and now they're here. It's just absolutely fantastic.
And I think that's the thing that Triple H likes to do at these takeovers is like, okay, that's why he only does 5 matches. It gives these guys all the time in the world to showcase what they can do. And that's exactly what they're doing at NXT UK. That's exactly what they did last Thursday in that street fight. Before we even get to the street fight, they took out Wild Boar before the match even took place. So Eddie Dennis had to step in and Eddie Dennis went from here to here in my book. Like Eddie Dennis shined in this in a losing effort. Yeah.
He really did, and he took some amount of punishment in it, to be fair to him. He took an absolute hammering during it. But that street fight on NXT UK was just, I mean, off the hook. Here we are. What a phrase. I mean, it really was just absolutely unbelievable. I mean, it was just, as I say, from start to finish, big moves, lots of weapons. It was 16, 17 minutes. And the finish, I mean, I've said for months, years, whatever, like Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews, incredibly underrated. They have been across, I know, in the States at PWG and stuff, but in the UK, we're kind of a bit underrated by some people who just looked at them and went, so what? Again, and this, for me, was a match for them. And with the finish, with the shooting star finish and the 6:30 at the end, like, it really was just a match that all four guys involved in that, Primate as well, just deserves an absolute round of applause because it was just superb. And if anybody has missed that, they need to go watch it.
Yeah, it seems like we're saying that every week, Aaron. And going forward, I guess, with Morgan and Webster, this has to put them somewhere near the top of the tag team title division or the tag team title race, which we will get to. I believe that's going to happen in 2 weeks. So next week, we're going to be talking about Gallus and Pretty Deadly on this show. But right now, going forward, we'll do a little fast forwarding here because we have some pretty intense matches coming up this Thursday to pick. Mikko Satamora, we'll give you some time on her. Japanese legend. I love the nickname, Japan's Final Boss. She made her debut. I love that nickname.
Brilliant. And even I loved from the start, because when they showed you walking through backstage, and I was like, ugh, don't tell me they're going to try and make her Goldberg. And then as she came through, it was the respect, and there was a lot of the women who were watching her as she walked through the backstage area, showing the respect. And I was like, they are setting her up as a legend that if you didn't know her, you would go, well, okay, if all those women think she's amazing and respect her, then she must be. And so from the get-go, you knew. And I'll also say this, when I didn't know who she was facing, and then when I saw it was Isla Dawn. Isla is obviously still young in her career, but she is a really genuine, I've seen her a few times live, she's a great wrestler. So they obviously had the trust in Isla that it was like going, okay, Mako's good, but we need two to tango, and therefore to showcase Mako as much as they could, they put Isla in with her. So fair play to Isla as well. But honestly, I can't wait to see what they do with Satamura. I really can't.
Yeah, for WWE fans, this isn't the first time we saw her. She was in the second Mae Young Classic, and she made it to the semifinals. It wasn't like she was some kind of like blink and you missed her in the first round. She went to the semifinals. I believe she lost to Toni Storm, who ended up winning the whole thing eventually. But yeah, that was more to come, and she's going to be gunning for Kaylee Ray. I know Kaylee was there. She was watching afterwards. I don't think that was a respect thing from Kaylee's part.
No, no, definitely not.
Staying in the women's division, they had video packages for both Effie Valkyrie and Danny Luna. So it looks like we're going to be seeing more of them coming soon. And then also Nina Samuels, she came out with a stipulation, and she's about to get whooped because the loser of her match with Xia Brookside will have to be the other servant for a month. I guess similar to what, for everyone stateside, or if you want to call it, what Chuck Taylor was doing for Miro. You know, he was being the butler up until the wedding. So, but it's gonna be fun watching Xia, boss around Nina. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Piper, Joseph Connors appeared during the match. No Ginny, but we're starting to get towards this, right, Garrett? Ginny and Piper.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I couldn't remember whether it was you or Ryan that had text during the show. It must have been Ryan, but where I'd said there were so many women's things on this, I was almost thinking they must be going for an all-women match show at some point, because they're really and I love the fact that they're giving them all this time. But as you say, we're definitely starting to head down the line. Just to have Joseph Connors come out and do the very sarcastic, "Yes, Piper, aren't you wonderful?" type of applause, that something's coming down the line.
So, and then, like I said, we're going to get right to next week's show. In 2 weeks, we have the tag title match that we just mentioned. We will talk about that on next week, episode 42 of the Essential Wrestling Podcast. But next week, actually, as a result of the Supernova sessions, Noam Dar is getting a little obsessed with his Heritage Cup and the fact that A-Kid has it. He booked it that Sha Samuels He was his guest on the show, and now apparently Shaw Samuels is going to be getting a chance at the Heritage Cup Championship. So we're back to round wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with it is, I know Miz has this, his must-see TV when he does Miz TV and all this. I have to say, every time I see that Supernova Sessions is on, I kind of sit in the house and go, yeah, because you know something's going to happen. You really know something with a big deal is going to happen. And you could see, if you didn't know who Shaw Samuels was, you could see that they were good mates. He put him on the settee, he didn't put him on the wee crappy seat. And it was like, okay. And as you say, he's obviously, like, from the first week in November, I think, was when A Kid beat Noam Dar. And you're going, you almost playing out the storyline of 3 months later, this is just eating at him still, that he wants him killed. And it's like, brilliant. I just love it, the way they've put all these wee plots. So I actually can't wait for the match. Shah's a great heel. He really is. And lining him with Noam Dar is genius.
Yeah, so it's going to be a good match. Who do you got? I think A Kid has to defend. I know Shaw Samuels, he's not a Rampage Brown. I think Shaw Samuels is beatable at this point.
Yeah. I mean, the only, as I say, the only way I could see him losing it would be through some sort of shenanigans from Dar, and then you go back to them again, back to Dar and A-Kid. But I would say, if you had to sort of pin me down and put a gun to my head, I would say the same, where you go with A-Kid and then still come out of it where he heads back towards Noam Dar for a bit. So.
Yep. I Spy Jersey guy, Ben Carter will be in action next week. So looking forward to seeing him again. And then we got the match, Garrett, that we've been talking about for a while, the past couple of weeks, because we're excited about it. Rampage Brown and Joe Coffey. I believe that. Here's the thing: they brought Johnny Saint in, albeit via video screen, via teleprompter, whatever you want to call it. But this is the first time we've seen Johnny Saint on TV since the relaunch from the pandemic, and that'll give it the respect as it is. And what was his quote? A proper heavyweight strap. Yeah. So let's dive right into this, Gar.
I mean, it is going to be two big boys just pounding on each other, for want of a better expression. Yeah. I mean, they really are just going to go in and go at it. And it will be, as you said, it'll just be a big heavyweight scrap. And it's hard for me to call actually what way it's going to go, because they brought Rampage in, and so they're going to give him the push. But yet Joe Coffey is kind of the man. He's one of the linchpins of NXT. But again, I'm going to go Rampage Brown. I think they're going to, if he gets the win, it'll move him up a level. Joe can afford the loss, I think. So I'm going to go Rampage in it. So.
Yeah, I'm going to go Rampage for all the exact same reason. It's either Rampage is winning or neither of them are winning. Like, I just don't think I don't think Rampage is losing, I guess. Yeah. How that's going to go out. So that's going to do it. It's going to be. I cannot wait for this Thursday afternoon. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait for that match. But this Sunday as well, we got the Elimination Chamber. I know you got a dog in the fight here with Drew, but I know you're also involved in the EWP, the pool on the WWE side. So who do you like on Sunday in the Chamber?
I am going to go one of them out of city left field. I'm going to go Drew in the Raw side. I think that it will still end up heading towards Drew and Sheamus. Which I think for me is good, because I've seen them 15 years ago when they were on the independent scene here in Ireland, and to see them sort of heading into a big singles match would be great. So I'm going to go Drew. I am going to go, I have almost a toss of the invisible coin. I'm going to go Jey Uso.
Wow, okay.
To win. And then to start the Jey Uso face turn again almost, where you have Roman Reigns he wins and then comes through it all, and Reigns effectively goes, lie down on your back. You're not going to fight me. And then he does start to fight back. And now Reigns, I think Roman Reigns will then beat him. But I think it's going to be the start of the Jey Uso starts to kind of turn away from him. And then I am going to go Matt Riddle. Whether it's a three-way, we'll see. I don't know whether it'll be a three-way or not, but I think I'm going to go Matt Riddle. Although, if it was a three-way, it's definitely going to be Riddle. If it's just If it's the one-on-one, I'm not sure because they've done so much with Lashley, but I'm still going to go Riddle will come out with the belt. So.
All right, Gary. Thank you for joining us. I know it is late over there, overseas. We honestly and sincerely appreciate you. And actually, like I said, we will see you Friday morning on the Daily Wrestling News Show. So everybody, make sure you tune in at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. I believe that's 3 p.m. over in the UK, correct?
Yeah, 3 p.m. with us, yeah.
Okay, so 10 a.m. here stateside, 3 p.m. On all the Eastern Observer platforms, on Facebook, YouTube, and then if you need to watch the replay, listen to the replay, Spotify and iHeartRadio and all that fun stuff. So, Gary, we will see you on Friday morning, or for you, Friday afternoon.
I shall be there. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, cheers, pal.
See you then.
All right, so now we're going to bring back in John Smith and John DeConnie. There we go. Yeah, Gary's making his Daily Wrestling News Show debut. John Smith, I know we didn't call it. There's John DeConnie. Normally it's the other way around. Normally it's John Smith we can't find on these.
Grocery shopping, usually.
Yeah, exactly, right? So we also had another pay-per-view this past weekend at No Surrender. They owned the night Saturday night because they were on, I believe, ahead of UFC. So let me just change the graphic here, and then I have a little bit of a quote because at the beginning of the show, they did a nice little feature of Tommy Dreamer because it was his 50th birthday that day, and they did like a little. It was like almost like an interview kind of with him. And here's what he had to say. So John DeConnie, I'm going to follow you on this one. All right.
Yep.
I love what I do. This is my last shot. I'm definitely not the man I was, but tonight I'm going to try my hardest to be that man that never let the fans down, and I'm going to try my hardest for one night to be what you all wanted or remember me by, and that's Tommy Dreamer. So, John DeConnie, my question for you is, did Tommy live up to his own expectations?
Well, Tommy was the man that we love, but he did not walk away the champion, unfortunately. It was a good match. I mean, Tommy is a lot of fun to watch. Swan can, carry just about anybody. Obviously, Tommy is way past his prime now, and he's abused himself so badly that, you're not going to get a 5-star match out of him, but he's never going to go out and embarrass himself. I don't believe. I was so surprised that this match didn't go one of two ways. It didn't turn into a multi-person match. I assumed Moose was going to, shoehorn his way in there. Once it was absolutely positively just a one-on-one match, I almost was talking myself into believing Tommy was going to win, because otherwise Tommy is one of those guys who's constantly giving back to the business. He's constantly looking out for, the next guys. And I thought if you were going to put this match together, just the two of them does nothing for anyone except say happy birthday to Tommy, which I loved. But after that, okay, then what next? So I had myself convinced that Tommy might pull this one out, but he did not. We got the super kick, 2 back kicks to the head, and eventually the Phoenix Splash from Rich to win it. And then things got even more interesting afterwards when Moose joined the fray, beat the hell out of both of them, he laid Tommy out, sent him out of the ring, and then went right back after that previously injured ankle and leg of Rich Swan, pulled out the chair, and we kind of went off the air with him still beating on Swan. So be interesting to see where we are when we get to the Impact Zone tonight.
Yeah, it was not a good weekend for the brand champions to retain their titles because both him and Finn Balor kind of got stuck post-match. But yeah, so they're on a collision course. I don't know if they're going to maybe do it. They have not announced the next Impact Plus pay-per-view for March. But the pay-per-view, they know one of their big 4 events, Rebellion, I believe, right? Or is that Revolution's AEW, Rebellion, and then Reckoning is in Retribution. Gotcha. That's going to be at the end of April. I kind of feel like that's where they're going to put the Moose and Rich Swan match if Kenny Omega somehow is not involved in this.
Well, yeah, the Omega symbol's already on the crest for that pay-per-view, so he's going to figure
it really? Yeah, there you go. Speaking of Impact and AEW, there was an interpromotional match. The Good Brothers actually retained the Impact World Championships. They work with Impact, even though you see them every Wednesday night for about the past month or so. They defeated Chris Sabin and James Storm, who kind of finagled their way into the match, and also AEW's Private Party, who are the number one contenders, or were the number one contenders. The Good Brothers got the win. Private Party did all the work on James Storm. And Karl Anderson kind of tagged Mark Quenn's foot before Mark Quenn hit. I think he hit a 450 or a swanton or something. One hit one move, one hit the other, and then Anderson kind of threw out Mark Quenn and snuck the pinfall victory. So the Good Brothers will be showing up tonight as Impact Tag Champions, and most likely tomorrow night on Dynamite because Kenny Omega. Oh no, Kenny Omega's not in action tomorrow. That's right. Yeah, he might show up. Bucks are in action, so they will show up. There you go. John Smith. My heart was shattered. The X Division Championship did not come home. I had the graphic all ready, too.
I know.
Jason San Martino. I was ready.
I don't know who was more confident, you or Rohit, because the way he walked down that aisle, man, with Shira, whatever his name is, in tow, he was walking out there like he already had that belt won. And, they put on a great match. It was a lot more even than I thought it would be. I figured it would be, TJP with the upper hand and Rohit having to resort to heel tactics. But no, it was a nice 50-50 match. Shira got his shots in here and there, but nothing crazy. And then TJP took him out in order to leave enough time to get Rohit down for the count. And overall, it was just a good, B+ match.
Yeah, and TJP got the Mama Splash for the win. I thought once Shira came out last week, exactly, I was like, this is it. It's coming home. Like, this is, I can't wait to tweet at him. I can't wait to. Now he has to defend the title tonight, and we'll get to his opponent right now, John Nakani. I kind of compared him. I compared him last week, and I kind of made a comment this morning on the Daily Wrestling News Show. It feels to me that Josh Alexander is going to be Impact's version of Big E. So. That was kind of my reasoning for picking him in this Revolver match, and he got it done for me. I got the one. I got the point.
Yeah, he lost his tag team partner, and now he's going to get a chance to excel as a single, which, he is with the walking weapon, so no surprise there. In this triple threat Revolver match for the future X Division Championship match, we started out with Trey, Blake Christian, and Suicide. Trey eliminated Suicide pretty quickly with that hourglass submission, the figure 4, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Chris Bay was out next. He didn't last very long. He eliminated Blake with a vertebreaker. Daivari would come out next, and Trey would eliminate him with a Meteora. Then the Walking Weapon came out in the 6th spot. He eliminated Bay with a torture rack into a spinning power bomb, and if that wasn't enough, he locked in an ankle lock afterwards to get Bay to tap out. Then that money-making music hit, and Willie Mack came out. Trey hit another Meteora, and both he and Josh covered Willie to eliminate him. So, unfortunately, Willie wasn't there that long. We had Ace Austin coming out last. My pick. I was feeling pretty confident. And then Josh hit that double underhook pile driver, dropped him right on his head. 1, 2, 3. And now we spin it forward. Josh Alexander has the next shot at TJP's X Division Championship.
Yeah, we're going to pick that at the end of the segment. There's a couple matches to pick. That is going to be one of them.
Hey, fun fact. Fun fact for you. Io Shirai's music is just Willie Mack's music in double time.
That kind of like a Rockers and Ultimate Warrior thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Razor Ramon and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
John Smith. Last week on the show, the 6-person intergender match was only 3-on-2 at the time. The K did not pick their partner yet. We made the picks for the match. I don't really like to bet against Tenille Dashwood. I don't like to bet against Crazy Steve either, but I like Tenille. I like Tenille in this situation. Larry D getting prison strong, yada yada yada. And then this Black Taurus guy from Mexico. I believe the text was, "Who the bleep is this guy?" in capital letters on our text chain.
I love that mask. It almost looks like he's an actual animal. I mean, it's awesome. But when I saw him, I immediately changed my pick. Like I made my pick based on we don't know who the third guy is, and when he came out, I was like, "There's no way they're bringing this guy in to lose his first match." And I mean, he showed out. He did some like moonsault stunner off the top rope at one point. And his finishing move, he just manhandled Larry D. Just picked him up. He picked him up in some sort of it was like a reverse fisherman's suplex powerbomb type thing. It was awesome. Tennille Dashwood looked pretty good in the match. I like how they get the men and the women involved with each other. We're not stupid. We know what we're watching. Like, why can't we have the women fight the men? It's fine. And AC was able to throw Tennille out of the ring in a power bomb, and she took out the whole crowd, and it was great. You never see that kind of stuff, unfortunately, over in the big companies because they're so worried about image. But we all know what we're watching, and when the women are in the same match as a man, they should be fighting each other, in my opinion.
There you go. Hot take. There you go.
Hot take.
I stuck with my guns. I didn't think it was fair, so I didn't change my pick. But I turned on Saturday night. I'm like, okay, well, here's open one right now. I'm not going perfect. They're done. Fire and Flava, I Spy a Jersey Girl. They retained the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. They defeated Havoc and Nevaeh after Tasha Steelz hit a cutter onto a street sign on Nevaeh for the win. Jordan Grace, Jazz, and ODB defeated Deonna Purrazzo, Kimberly, and Susan after Jazz made Susan submit to the STF. Brian Myers and Hernandez, they defeated Eddie Edwards and Matt Cardona after Myers hit the roster cut, I believe is what he's calling that clothesline. I think that's hysterical.
I've complained in the past about Impact not naming finishing moves. They always redeem themselves when they come around to it with the Venus de Milo, the roster cut. Yep. It takes them a while, but they do some good work as far as that's concerned.
So I'm hoping we're getting Impact's version of the Mega Powers Explode here, and we get Brian Myers and Matt Cardona one-on-one on a pay-per-view. Be absolutely hysterical. And then Jake Something, he defeated Diener after a Black Hole Slam, and then Violent by Design immediately jumped Jake Something and kicked the crap out of him post-match. So here are our standings from Impact after No Surrender. Myself and Tyler 6-3. John Smith flexing his Impact muscles 7-2. John DeConnie 5-4. Ryan Joy went 4 for 5. And that is the scores. We will have the overall standings. I will present them later as we go into the Elimination Chamber picks later on tonight. Impact is debuting a new show. I can't remember what time it is. I don't want to say it's on at the same time as us. It might be. But definitely watch us first and catch this on the replay. I believe it's called Before the Impact, and the match that's going to be on that card is Crazy Steve and Black Taurus representing Decay going against Triple XL. I'm not betting against Black Taurus. John Smith?
Oh, yeah, me neither. Yeah, of course.
John DeConnie.
Yeah, no way. Give me Decay.
And then actually after the pay-per-view, you're going to swing back to that for one quick second. Kind of a jaw-dropping news, the Forbidden Portal, more crossovers going over in professional wrestling as Juice Robinson and David Finlay. Those names are backwards. I do believe Finlay's on the right on this one. Juice Robinson's on the left. They're going to be in the Impact Zone. Juice Robinson, I believe, is a former IWGP United States champion. If he didn't win it, he definitely challenged for it. And Dave Finlay, if you know that last name, you know he loves to fight. So he is a chip off the old block of his old man over from Ireland. So they are going to be over there as well. There's going to be a four-person singles match, four-way singles match. You have Suicide versus Trey Miguel versus Daivari versus Willie Mack. There's no points on the line, John Smith. I'm gonna bet Willie for fun. Points on the line, though. I think Trey's got this.
I'm going with Trey.
All right, John Connie.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Trey, and then some kind of confrontation between him and Sammy afterwards and all that good.
Yeah, you're staying in the Revolver. He got 2 wins by the Meteor. Right? Like, how meaty is his aura that he can pin guys with that? I mean, that's meatier than Sasha Banks' aura.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of them was Willie Mack, so that's quite a meaty.
Yeah, like that is some meaty aura, man. God. And then, as we mentioned, John DeConnie, as we mentioned prior, Josh Alexander won the aforementioned triple threat Revolver match. He is now going to challenge TJP for the X Division Championship, and I let the cat out of the bag early this morning on the Daily Wrestling News Show. I'm calling new champion right now. So, John DeConnie, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, if you're pushing a guy, no reason to, take baby steps with him. He won that Revolver. Might as well have a new champ.
Who put this? All right, so make sure you watch our show first before. God, come on, Ryan.
Hey, just point of note. I've got the TV on 3 feet to my right. Anything important happens, I'll break it live.
All right, there you go. There's a reason, John DeConnie. There's a reason why you're the first ever PWP champion, and I'm pretty sure you've been nominated for Employee of the Year at the Eastern Observer last year. So there's a reason why all that. John Smith, who do you got?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for them to have Josh Alexander lose at this point the way they've been booking him lately. So yeah, let's see a new champ. I'd like to see where this goes. He looked pretty unstoppable in that Revolver match.
He can go. He can go. Canada does not produce bad wrestlers. So, gentlemen, we are going to send you backstage one more time. I got a bone to pick with Ryan Joy now. Apparently, he's promoting other shows that are on the same time as us. So, we will be back in a second. Ryan's got his indie report coming up, and we will see you shortly.
Hey,
Ryan Joy, how are things today, pal?
Busy. As you mentioned, when we get done with this show, then I've got to go watch Before the Impact. I got to watch Impact. I got to watch Dark. I got to watch CCW Live. But I got to watch Young Rock. Tonight, you have a full workday starting at 6 o'clock. So
wow. So Ryan Joy, we I know you announced a lot of stuff. For those who know, watch the Daily Wrestling News Show. I know New Japan, you said, has a couple shows in 2 weeks' time. So we'll get to those next week, correct?
Yeah, that's right. February 27th and February 28th. However, the 27th, there is a KOPW championship, interim championship match between Toru Yano and Chase Owens. So as the tradition holds with these matches, we as the fans get to vote on the stipulations. The current stipulations are 2 different variations on the strap match. Chase Owens wants the traditional strap match where you go from corner to corner, touch the corner pads, and whoever touches them, all wins. Okay, we could choose that. But if you vote for Toru Yano's, as you might be able to predict, it's the same concept, except you must remove the turnbuckles. So I hope we get Toru Yano's because I think that would be kind of fun, although I don't know what happens. I think it's whoever removes the last turnbuckle is the winner. So that should be fun. Voting is available right now on Twitter. I believe it's the NJPW Global account. And that match won't be until February 27th. So that's your New Japan stuff. Bunch of matches on those cards. A bunch of singles match, bunch of title matches. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, and I heard you said I listened to your show this morning with Travis that there was a lot going on. So we'll definitely we'll give you your time on that next week. But what do you got in store for us this week?
For this week, tomorrow, the what I call the NXT and AEW Dynamite pre-show. You have Major League Wrestling. The big match on this card is Low Key versus King Mo, and this is a year in the making. King Mo hasn't had a lot of wrestling matches. Of course, he's very well known for his actual fighting career, but he did take out Low Key very quickly about a year ago. And that was on, at one of their television tapings in Philadelphia. And so finally, this is going to come back around full circle, and they will have an actual match this week on Wednesday. King Mo is calling for Low Key's retirement. So.
Oh wow! So I got a couple questions about King Mo here. When did he get promoted from Sir Mo, And is he still wearing the baggy purple and yellow outfit?
So, when did that promotion occur? I don't know, but I think you're thinking of Men on a Mission.
Yeah.
Circa WrestleMania 12-ish, you know.
Sir Mo, no, they're at WrestleMania 10. They challenged the Quebecers Tag Team Championships.
PCO.
Yeah, King Mabel won the King of the Ring. And I guess is Mabel out around it? I guess Mo got promoted to King.
There you go. There you go.
Owens on a mission. I believe John Smith had a million names for that Survivor Series team on the Survivor Series episode.
Another thing is since you brought up the Quebecers and PCO, let's get over to Ring of Honor. You know, we'll get this transition somehow.
There you go. Hey, if you mention the Quebecers, it's always an easy transition.
There you go. The Ring of Honor, this weekend's television, there is a title match. It is Shane Taylor Promotions versus Mexico Squad for the 6-man tag team championships. If Shane Taylor Promotions wins this match, then Shane Taylor will go into the February 27th weekend and challenge Roosh for the World Championship, and he could come out as a double champion. So you've got those 2 title matches coming up in the next 2 weeks. And then they also announced their next pay-per-view, which will be, what is it called? This is their 19th anniversary show, and it's going to be on March 26th, Friday night, 8 p.m. And so, you know, sign up for that. It's the first one they've had since Final Battle, which was December. So it looks like they're going to be doing quarterlies at least until the pandemic is over.
All right, awesome.
And I think
anything else you want to touch on, Ryan? Leo Rush, any Leo Rush updates? Does he want any more titles?
Leo Rush still 3 championships that I'm aware of, but he is, you know, he's great. One thing I will mention, you know, we made a big deal about Gary Mehaffy making his Daily Wrestling News Show debut. The guest that Gary is bringing with him on the show that week or this Friday is Georgia Smith, which is the British Bulldog's daughter, and she'll be on to talk about the Icon documentary. The WWE has finished filming and will debut pretty soon. So do check us out on Friday. I think that'll be a fun interview. And then also go check out Monday's episode of the Daily Wrestling News Show. I had international superstar, Chilean movie star Ariel Levy on the show. And, you know, he talked about his transition from the world of acting into wrestling. It's a good interview. He has some good stories.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, that was a great show on Monday. I'm looking forward to know, as if Gary's not a ratings boost as it is, you're bringing a Hall of Famer's daughter in to talk about a beloved wrestler, a beloved person, one of my childhood heroes. You know, shocked her name's not Matilda. I would have named her Matilda. That's how much I love the British Bulldog. If I had a daughter, I probably would have named her Matilda. But all right. So that seems like it'll do it for the indie promotion. Anything from Florida, real quick, or no?
Well, on Monday's show, you'll not be joining me again this Monday. I'll have Bugs Moran, who is known in South Florida as the Hobo Prince. He is billed from the van down by the river, so he'll be on the show on Monday. So 10 a.m. Hopefully he has good Wi-Fi.
This will not be the only time we bring up Saturday Night Live. All right, there you go. We're going to bring that up again in the next segment coming up. So we are going to switch gears to AEW. We're going to bring John Smith and John DeConnie back in. Gentlemen, a little bit of a setup show. Let's be nice and call it that. It was a setup show on AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday, with the exception of the main event, and that's really the one I really want to get to. That was an absolutely amazing match, Ryan. Bullet Club against the World here.
Yeah, and I was happy that we had such a great match, because I don't think that a lot of people have been exposed to Kenta in that format. And you know, my favorite part of the match was when Kenta was about to go through the announce table, and he kind of like squirmed away from Archer, jumped off the stage, double stomped through a table onto Moxley. I thought that was the best part of the match. I popped big for that. The match finally did conclude with the Good Brothers assisting Kenny Omega to lift Lance Archer up for the One-Winged Angel. So Archer took that One-Winged Angel, but Omega wouldn't be able to do it without the Good Brothers. But that's what led to the pin. So.
All right, and coming up to this Wednesday, it looks like Archer and Moxley, they just cannot get away from each other. And Ray Phoenix is brought back into this situation too. Those three are going to team up again. You have them. I thought they teamed up once before.
No, I don't think. I think it was a different combination.
I thought it was Mox, Archer, and Phoenix against Omega and the Good Brothers. I guess I was wrong on that. But they're going to be fighting Kingston, Butcher, and Blade. So who do you have on that one, Ryan?
You were thinking of Mox, Pac, and Phoenix.
There you go. It's close.
I would take the. I think I'll take the Moxley team on this one. I think there's less to lose.
All right, John DeConnie.
Yeah, I believe Moxley, Archer, Phoenix take that one.
All right, I'm going to put them on too. John Smith, you with them as well?
Same Z's.
Okay. We had a TNT Championship match. Randomly, Joey Janela, I Spy a Jersey guy. He got a TNT title match. I think it was Darby's second title defense, and he's had it for 2-3 months now.
Since November.
Yeah, okay. Darby finally put the title on the line against Joey Janela. Darby got the win. Jersey shine, though. Joey shine in this match. Very happy for him. I hope they start doing some more with him. Throw Sonny Kiss in there as well. That's my two Jersey guys there. Let's get the tag titles on them. After the match, they tied Team Taz tied Darby, I guess, to a truck, and they dragged them around. So now Sting, that's going to upset Sting, and Sting is going to be there. He is going to call out Team Taz. MJF, he tried to sneak a fast one past Sammy Guevara, trying to record their conversation in the locker room. Sammy caught him red-handed. And then later in the night, after Jericho and MJF defeated the Acclaimed, that's my another Jersey guy. A lot of Jersey guys in AEW. I love that about AEW. Sammy came out and quit. He said, I'll give him one shot, and MJF screwed up, and Sammy was out. So now Sammy, I guess, until further notice, will we see Sammy Guevara? I want to say Chris Jericho's got to be heartbroken about this going forward. The Nightmare Family, represented by Cody Rhodes and Lee Johnson, they defeated Peter Avalon and Cesar Bononi. Lee Johnson got his first ever pinfall win. Celebrated like he won the Super Bowl or the Stanley Cup or whatever your preferred sports championship is. He thanked a whole bunch of people, but he flat out left out QT Marshall, and QT noticed. He's sitting there like looking around like, what the hell, man? Like, didn't he go to his wrestling academy? I think I heard that on the Daily Wrestling News show. He trained at QT's academy, so little tension there in the Nightmare Family. Pac defeated the Hollywood Hunk, I believe he's called now, from Hollywood, Florida, Ryan Nemeth, after a Black Arrow into the Brutalizer. And then we're going to get an 8-man tag team match coming up this Wednesday that's going to involve Matt Hardy, Hangman Page, and Private Party. They're going to be taking on THQ and the Chaos Project. Now, fun story here. Matt and Adam were sitting at a bar, and I guess Matt was trying to recruit him to join I guess his brand, the Matt Hardy brand. He signed it. He gave it to Page. I guess they gave it to Page to sign. Page pulled the old switcheroo. So who knows what's in this contract right now that Matt Hardy also signed after he failed to see the switcheroo. So John DeConnie, we'll go with you. Does this blow up now, or are they just going to get a nice clean win in an 8-man tag, and then maybe moving forward we'll see what happens?
I think things stay okay for the time being. This is, one of the best stories they're telling over there. So Hangman and Hardy Party take it to TH2 and Chaos Project.
All right, John Smith.
I don't even know. I'll take Hardy. Hardy and then.
All right, Ryan.
Yeah, the same. Although I don't think it's going to take a long time for this to kind of break up. They need to start signing matches for Revolution, and I think there's something in this that's brewing towards Revolution. So whatever is coming out of this, I think is going to come out and spin out pretty quick.
Well, I'll tell you what's not coming out of this is any money out of Adam Page's bank account that's going into Matt Hardy's bank account. Yes, he's going to notice very quickly that his 30% is not coming in. So, yes, you're exactly right. I agree with that.
Yeah, maybe maybe that's where it breaks down when they get to the pay window after this victory.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going to get his 30%. He's not a 30. He's not a 50% third.
Paige will be getting 30% of all the three of them.
So the Eliminator Tournament, the women's Eliminator Tournament, to determine the number one contender and the challenger for Hikaru Shida at Revolution at the beginning of next month. It kicked off last week on Dynamite. Another strong performance, another Jersey girl, Layla Hirsch, came up a little bit short. Thunder Rosa's a tough cookie. I'll let her slide on that one. So Thunder Rosa advanced. On the Japanese side, they actually had a little bit of a minor show last night from Japan on YouTube with the first round, the quarterfinals, if you will, of the Japanese side of the bracket. I don't think there was too many surprises here, as the four women who advanced in Japan were the four women who have had previous AEW experience. But it was it was actually kind of fun watching this, and I found myself rooting for everyone that lost. Again, it's kind of just what I do, I feel like. So I thought it was good showings by Mizugura, Veni, Maki Ito with Maki Ito. She came out, she sang her song. I've heard that song probably a million times on Z100. I didn't know it was her. So it was nice to actually see the face to the song. And then Rin Kadokura, she gave Aja Kong all she could. But the legend Aja Kong, she is just too much. So there's some interesting matchups. I do not know when these matchups are going to happen. I do know that tomorrow night that the NWA Women's Champion Serena Deeb, she's going to be taking on Riho. So we'll pick that match first, and then maybe we can just I'll leave this up here now. John Smith, we'll start with you. We haven't started with you yet in AEW. How does this fill out to you?
Oh, wow. I mean, I said when we heard about this that I was calling Britt Baker was going to win the whole thing before we even saw the brackets. I said that a couple weeks ago, so I think I'm just going to stick with that. Makes sense. I mean, I'd like to see Tay Conti take on Anna Jay because of their, affiliation, but that's not happening. It's going to be Nyla versus Britt, and then Serena Deeb is gonna beat Rio, I think. Yeah.
All right.
Then we'll take it from there.
All right, John DeConnie.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with any of that logic. I mean, that Serena Deeb and Riho match is really hard to pick in my mind since Riho is a former champion who, was on my milk carton last week. We haven't seen her in quite a while, but I guess it's just too appealing to have her have Serena Deeb meet up with Thunder Rosa in the next round, and then Nyla over Tay Conti and Britt, who I also agree with John Smith is probably going all the way in this one.
All right, Ryan.
I think most of what everybody has said, yes. Like Serena Deeb and Thunder Rosa in the second round makes sense. I could also make an argument, though, that Riho gets the win here to set up a future NWA Women's World Championship match. Nyla Rose advances. Britt Baker advances. I think the finals are Britt Baker and Yuka Sakazaki. Yuka Sakazaki has a win over Britt Baker from about this time last year, so it would make sense to have a rematch there. And she's the magic girl, so I think Britt Baker does win.
Yeah, that was the magical 450 springboard splash right off the middle of the top rope.
That's right. But I do think Britt Baker wins.
So I'm going to agree. I got Serena Deeb over Riho only because I'm going to have Thunder Rosa beat Serena Deeb, and that's how she gets the NWA Women's Championship back. We have to remember her, people. She is not an AEW wrestler. Like, she needs to get that title back at some point. So I think a win here in the semifinals would set up that match and eventually get the NWA Women's Championship match. So she can go, trot back to Billy Corgan. It's like, see, I told you I'd get it back. Nyla Rose, Britt Baker, they advance. I got Britt Baker. Yes, she's going to advance. She'll beat Thunder Rosa again. Maybe Thunder Rosa be the final. Who knows where this goes? I don't know. I like Britt Baker too. I like Britt Baker and Ryu Mizunami. I like her. I think she's got the power to beat Aja Kong. And I think she's got the size and the power to beat whoever comes out of the other match. Aja Kong, though, ladies and gentlemen, she is the ultimate eliminator here. Still to this very day, the only person, not just woman, the only person in Survivor Series elimination match history to completely eliminate the opposite team. She did it, I believe it was like 1993 or 94 or 95, somewhere in that area where Alundra Blaze, so it had to be 94, I would say, where Alundra Blaze was champion. And Alundra Blaze was one of the 4 that she beat. So she really is the ultimate eliminator. So
Maybe her name should be Final Boss.
there you go. That's it. FTR is going to be facing Matt Sydal and his brother Slip Sydal, right? Is that his name?
Yep, Matt and Slip. Mike.
Or is Matt's nickname? Anyway, all right. I said no more jokes about that, but that one I just got. FTR, anyone going to pick the Sydals on this one?
No.
Sir.
All right, and then the big match of the night, the AEW Tag Team Championships are on the line. The Young Bucks are going to challenge. They threw it out there for Santana and Ortiz. I guess to kind of just get into the face of the Good Brothers. So interesting match because Jericho and MJF, they're already at Revolution in a tag title match. They're challenging the champions now. Ryan, is Santana and Ortiz happen to sneak one out here?
Yeah, no points on the line, and I like that scenario a lot. Santana and Ortiz win the championships, and they defend against Jericho and MJF at Revolution. I like the way that sounds, and I also like the fact that it gives us the opportunity to have that Young Bucks Good Brothers match at Revolution too, because clearly we're building to that at some point. And it doesn't even need to be an AEW Tag Team Championship match. So,
and it doesn't even have to be at an AEW event.
Correct.
Or that in mind. Yeah, correct, John McConaughey.
Yeah, I like that thinking. I think I didn't expect the Bucks to drop those titles this quickly. Not that it's very quickly, but I expected them to have a nice long run. But this is just too much fun if it works out this way. So I'm gonna go with no points on the line. Give me Santana and Ortiz.
All right, John Smith. This is interesting.
I didn't think about this at all, like these scenarios you guys are talking about. So I had the Bucks winning it, so I'll stick with the Bucks. But I could see the Good Brothers costing them the titles. Yeah, sure. But give me the Bucks.
Accidentally cost. They're gonna come out to help, and then oh my god, I tripped the wrong guy by accident, and. Yeah, I would like to actually see at not Revolution, but Rebellion. Give me the Impact pay-per-view, the big pay-per-view. Give me the Good Brothers and the Bucks. I like that. So I'm going to go Santana Ortiz too. Plus, the Inner Circle, you just lost. It's going to implode. It's going to happen at some point. MJF is doing a fantastic job just destroying one of the all-time fan favorite groups in wrestling history.
Does any team have a worse entrance music than the Good Brothers, by the way?
The Devil's... Oh, you don't like that?
It's terrible. It's like, it makes me want to just drive off a cliff with a cigar in my mouth.
I don't know. I don't like Eddie Edwards' music, so I would rival with that one.
Meanwhile, the other thing is the Young Bucks have not had a tag team 2-on-2 match this year.
They don't like tag team matches in AEW. Everything's got to be a 10-man or 15-man or 25-man. It's crazy. Yeah, they don't like tag team matches in AEW. So
they got
so we're going to put a pin in AEW for now. Going forward, somebody just chimed in. Probably Travis. I said something bad about AEW. Probably Travis. The Godwins. The Godwins have bad music. That's where we're going. He's going old school. All right, so we are going to switch gears to WWE. I'm just going to do a couple quick recaps of SmackDown and Raw. We'll just keep everything chamber related for now. Seth Rollins, he did return. He's got his old Burn It Down music. He came out, got everybody around the ring just like he did after the Survivor Series those years ago. Says he was a changed man. Being a father changed him, but it was the same old Seth. Wants to be the locker room leader. Everyone just immediately walked away, with the exception of Cesaro, who wanted to make sure he heard Seth out and that Seth heard him. He mumbled something as he was walking away. Seth then jumped him. So to be continued with those two. And that would be fun if they can drag that till either April 5th or 6th or whatever WrestleMania is. Big E defeated Shinsuke Nakamura via disqualification to retain the Intercontinental Championship after Apollo Crews, who said before the match he wasn't stopping until he got the belt. Because he actually has the actual United States Championship at his house for his kids to play with. He needs this one. Apparently, the kids want to have a title for title match, so he needs this belt to bring home so he can, we can make another one. Yes, John.
If that gets that hideous generic belt off of TV and replaced with something better, specifically if they go a little old school and go back to the old Reggie Parks looking belt, I'm all for it. Let him steal that belt and run away with it.
Bailey defeated Liv Morgan with the Rose Plant. I think I finally did they call it a name?
Yes.
Yes! It took how many months? 8 months? A year? Like, how long has it been a year now since she slashed the Bailey buddies and started this? Finally got a name, the Rose Plant. Get excited. At the Rose Plant, after she raked the eyes, the referee, Billy Kay's resume went flying into the ring. Ruby Riott threw in there by accident. So, shenanigans by Billy Kay again. The Street Profits defeated Chad Gable and Otis after the anointment. Another thing, we're naming all these moves now. The anointment by Angelo Dawkins, followed by the splash by Montez Ford. And then in an interview, a promo, or I guess a confrontation between Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, Shayna and Nia came out as well. So they're finally getting those two on other shows here. I guess this whole experience, if you want to put it that way, is actually doing Nia well because now she's on these shows and people want to watch to make fun of her because of that whole experience.
Great job. Nice play on words.
Thank you very much. And then on Raw had a couple quick things. Alexa Bliss says the Fiend will be reborn as she was kneeling, and I believe it's called a pentagram. Am I right here? Is that what that called?
Yep.
It wasn't a hexagram or an octagram. It was a pentagram, right? It was 5. Gotcha.
Yeah. Wrestled with Phoenix.
Yep. And then Bad Bunny won the 24/7 title from Akira Tozawa, who just won from R-Truth. And so now here we go. Here's the fun thing. So Bad Bunny's got the 24/7 champion. He's going to be the musical guest on Saturday Night Live this weekend, which of course is on NBC. And this is the last pay-per-view before WWE sends it over to Peacock Network. This is too much of a coincidence here. Let's just hope R-Truth shows up on Saturday Night Live. I think that's what wrestling fans like. Oh my God, like Truth can totally destroy Saturday Night Live right now, and I think it would be absolutely great. And then Shayna Baszler defeated Lana after the Caribou Clutch. So that was that. Shayna got her fun in for the day.
WWE better be careful.
The Elimination Chamber.
They better be careful sending R-Truth to SNL because they might steal him and give him a job.
Seriously.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right. Well, we'll get to this. Is this another person in your family, Rye? I recognize that last name. A little late to the party, but there was a retribution.
Yes, that's another family member.
In the feud with the bell. Okay, we'll get to that. We got a lot to talk about here. We will get to that. Is that your cousin, Rye?
Yes, Travis's brother.
All right, I figured this out. I've never met anybody with the last name Severs, so I was kind of hoping they were in the same family here. Going in, here are the overall standings going into the Elimination Chamber. I almost caught John DeConnie again. I am 3 points behind. Ryan is about 15 back. John Smith about 40 back from him. Tyler put up the squad douche at TakeOver. He is down at the bottom. Here are our standings in WWE. John DeConnie, he's got a 12-point lead on Ryan, John Smith, and Tyler, shortly about 50 points behind them. And then myself and Gary way down in the bottom. But there's points to be had in this show. 5 points for the WWE or Universal title match, 3 points for all the title matches, 1 for non-title matches. That's standard. Elimination Chamber's get a 10-point bump here, so there's some points to be had. The kickoff matches don't count. The Miz is in play. And with the 10-point bump in the Elimination Chamber, the WWE Championship match is now worth 15 points. Hence, that the perfect pay-per-view bonus is up to 15 points. John Smith, you love that, don't you?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. In
So,
the overall standings, I have the second most wins, but I'm second from the bottom.
you're picking the wrong matches right and the right matches wrong.
What? Who let you decide which are the right and wrong matches?
I own the site. I do. I decide. I own the This is my game, and I can't win it.
It's his creation.
I'm gonna make my own site.
Yes. Okay, so Raw started with a very bold but smart strategy by The Miz, removing himself from the Elimination Chamber. He's got the money to make contracts. Screw it. He doesn't need to go through that hell. He has a shot whenever he wants, and he's not going to put himself through that. So, bold move. Instead of getting 2 chances, he's still just keeping 1. He's got to be right once. That was the exact quote, right? So, Kofi Kingston, he wanted in. The Miz wanted John Morrison in. They had the match. Kofi got the win. And all of a sudden, this is starting to feel like it did 2 years ago. Kofi Kingston just happens to sneak in the Elimination Chamber and have this gauntlet match and everything. So, Braun Strowman also wanted in on this match. He's not happy. He's got a message for Shane that Shane better make it right. So, can we circle back to this, say around April 4th or 5th? Does Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman sound intriguing to you guys?
No.
I'm hoping it's more Braun Strowman and Dabba-Kato, as Shane's guy. But
okay, before we get there, though, Sheamus won the gauntlet. He came out last. So they had a random drawing match to determine a random drawing match, right? So I feel like this gauntlet match was unfair. Like, they're going to have like a small Royal Rumble to determine the gauntlet. Oh, but that's kind of random drawing too. How do you do? So maybe have a battle royal, and that'll determine the order for the Royal Rumble, which will determine the order for this gauntlet match. They need to correct this. Now, shake. Anyway,
a couple of weeks ago that would have worked.
We have all 6 members in the Elimination Chamber. They are announced. Here are their records for the year, sponsored by MinutesToBellTime.com. We have 1 current WWE champion in Drew McIntyre. We have 5 former WWE champions in Randy, Jeff, AJ, Sheamus, and Kofi. John DeConnie, you are leading everything right now. The overall pool, the WWE pool. Who do you got?
I had myself convinced that Drew was going to drop the title in the chamber so that he could finally get his moment of winning, changing the title, changing hands at WrestleMania, people in the building, get his big moment. And then the way that played out in the gauntlet last night, as soon as Sheamus won, because I had Sheamus taking it from him in my head, I said, all right, Drew's going to retain. So give me Drew McIntyre.
Travis is, he just went a step up in my book. There you go. Thank you, Travis. Ryan, who do you got?
It's interesting to me what you take as a compliment. As a commentary on your grapefruits, I think. Drew McIntyre in this match, I like. For all John DeConnie's reasoning.
All right, John Smith.
I'd like to pick somebody besides him so I can gain points on people in this. But no, it's Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, it's going to come down. Sheamus is the last person in the ring. It's going to come down to those 2. Drew's going to get the win. That'll put them at 1 each, right? Because Sheamus won the gauntlet. You got to count that. And now Drew won the chamber. You got to count that. There is your main event of
Fastlane.
Not putting Sheamus in the world title match at WrestleMania. Didn't work last time. Didn't work the other time. Not going to work this time.
Disagree.
Oh, really? Oh.
I love Sheamus.
This tag team match abruptly ended when Lacey Evans got tagged in and she announced she was pregnant. Ric Flair celebrated like Space Mountain was still the greatest ride of all time. And apparently Space Mountain is still functional, ladies and gentlemen. It is still the greatest ride in the world. It'll still get the job done. So apparently Ric Flair
longest line.
There you go. Charlotte looks sick to her stomach. That was a great sell by her. There was a banner. Our buddy James commented here real quick. Let me just get this up real quick because I got to make sure. I don't know if Lacey Evans is faking her pregnancy just so she doesn't get beaten by Charlotte again. It's been confirmed by a lot of sources that Lacey Evans is actually pregnant. I do not know. I was actually not there when this happened, so I cannot confirm that Lacey is actually pregnant. Ryan, were you there?
I was not there, but it sounds to me more like Lacey did not fake a pregnancy to avoid Charlotte. She actually got pregnant to avoid Charlotte.
There you go. Woo! There you go. Ric Flair, Spacebound. Good job, Daddy.
That's Charlotte's brother or sister in there.
Yeah, stepbrother, stepsister for Charlotte. I'm sure she's going to be an uncle.
Oh, half.
Not
step, half.
Half. I'm sorry, half. Yeah. And then you have Uncle Andrade too, Tio Andrade. So we can actually just kick a couple of ideas around real quick if we can. I guess the question is Asuka going to stay on the card and defend the Raw Women's Championship, John Smith, or is this going to be scrapped altogether and just moving forward with this story?
I like the idea of Peyton Royce that you kicked around in backstage earlier. Either way, Asuka's not losing the title, though.
Aw. John DeConnie.
That was very Matt Riddle. I like that.
Yeah, I know.
It's weird because everything Lacey said right up to "I'm pregnant" made it sound like she still planned to wrestle Asuka. So I assume that Asuka will defend and will retain. Who it will be? It'd be interesting to see how they talk the way around it if they let Lacey actually wrestle. Or I did also like your idea of plugging Peyton in there.
Yeah, I mean, John DeConnie brings up a great point, Ryan. Now, if Lacey does wrestle, is this considered a handicap match?
I think it has to be, right? By your own definition, Al. I think that is a handicap match. I don't know. I think they're going to probably scrap the match. When I last checked, which was right before the show went on the air, Lacey Evans versus Asuka was still listed, but that can't be. And so I prefer a surprise. I prefer an NXT call-up, and we have a surprise match, and maybe it's close. Maybe we get a change. I don't know, but I prefer something like that.
Yeah, I am a huge Peyton Royce fan. She is on the top of my list. I would love for her to go and win the Raw Women's Championship because obviously I think Lacey can still be at ringside. I don't think she's allowed to have any contact or whatever, but she'll still be at ringside. Rick will be there. Oops, I slipped her foot. That'd be fun. But Rhea Ripley's name's been thrown around too. I've been seeing. Ryan, I think that's what you were hinting at.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to complain if Rhea Ripley steps through those ropes and has a match with Asuka. Or even wins the Raw Women's Championship. I don't think anyone's going to be. I think that'll make huge headlines and a huge launch, main roster launch for Rhea Ripley. Even though she's already had a small cup of coffee, but she's competed at WrestleMania. So, moving forward, we have there was a 6-man tag team match last night. Riddle and the Lucha House Party, they defeated the Hurt Business after Riddle hit the floating bro on MVP. Lashley then came out. He put the Hurt Lock on Matt Riddle again. This is very Lana-esque, John DeConnie. How come I'm not getting any? How many weeks in a row is this where Riddle's putting in the Hurt Lock?
It feels like about 35. So for that reason alone, and the fact that Lashley doesn't have to take the pinfall because it's a triple threat match, I unfortunately think Matt Riddle takes this one.
All right, yeah, this match is for MVP's United States Championship, currently held by Bobby Lashley in the Hurt Business. Ryan Joy, Keith Lee was not on Raw last night. They played it off that he was injured after the attack from Lashley the week before. Okay, that story, that's one thing. Gary was kind of alluding to, well, if it's this way, if it's triple threat, then I'm going to take Riddle. But if it's just a one-on-one, I'm still going to take Riddle. So he might be saying that Keith Lee might not be in this.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he was off celebrating his engagement since he is recently engaged. Perhaps, not sure. I think this is tough to call. I think if they take the belt off Lashley, then what are they going to do with him next? So I'm going to pick Lashley to retain here.
John Smith.
Hey, if Mia Yim knew it was good for her, she'd get herself pregnant so she doesn't have to be involved with Retribution anymore.
That's a
I
reckoning.
wanted to drop that one before I forgot about it. But I actually like Keith Lee to win this one, as long as he's in the match. Otherwise, I got Bobby retaining. I don't think Riddle's winning it either way.
All right, Travis going Lashley and Drew. For those of you who are Travis Severance fans and following his picks, I got Lashley. Payoff. Keith Lee beats him at Mania, so we're gonna hold it on. For Lashley's gonna hold it on till then. I'm not sure what I'd like to see Riddle do at WrestleMania yet, but way back when, on my way to early WrestleMania card, I had Keith Lee beating Bobby Lashley. I'm getting closer and closer to it, and I believe that's the only match I have right as of this point. I think everything else is already done, so I think that's really my only last bastion.
I call Matt Riddle gold.
Down the side of things, so Postman Pierce, the Scrap Daddy, he wanted to put Roman Reigns in the chamber. Roman just said no, and that was it. You know, Heyman eloquently put it out for Roman, but Roman was the one that said no. He'll just fight the winner. It's amazing the pull that guy has. So, no, I lost my scrap down paper. So, these are the gentlemen who qualified for the match. He immediately put Jey Uso and Kevin Owens in it. Sami Zayn and King Corbin, they qualified in the tag team match by beating the Mysterios. And then Cesaro and Daniel Bryan qualified by beating the tag team champions of Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, the Dirty Dogs. So, and then after that, and actually I believe the phrase was immediately after or right after. So, like, this is going to happen directly. They're going to lift the cage, and it's going to be a Universal Championship match. And Roman Reigns is probably going to drop the winner. Let's just put it that way. So I don't think I'm taking away anybody's pick from that. But who comes out of the chamber here? John DeConnie.
I am so conflicted in this one because I want to say Cesaro, that maybe that's what they were building him up for, this whole thing with beating Daniel Bryan a couple times and whatnot. But now it looks like maybe he may have Seth Rollins ahead of him. So I guess I'm just going to be a coward and say it's going to be KO again, and Roman's going to come down and pick the bones afterwards.
Okay, Ryan Joy.
I fully agree with John DeConnie. I think that none of those other matches seem. Look, King Corbin, Sami Zayn. I don't think I want to see Jey Uso. I don't think they're going to play that back. I don't want to see Roman destroy Daniel Bryan or Cesaro. I think they need to actually be built up before we get to Mania, and so that leaves us with Kevin Owens taking another L.
John Smith. Gary picked Jey Uso. I don't know if you heard his segment. Gary went with Jey Uso, and then Roman's going to tell him to lay down, and Jay's going to fight back. So that's an option. But if it is Kevin Owens, we mentioned this last. It's tough to beat a team 4 times in the same season. Never been done.
It's not going to be Kevin Owens, and it's also not going to be Jey Uso. You had it right when you were talking about it, John. It's Cesaro, because I think Cesaro is going to win, and then Seth Rollins is going to interfere in the title match. Cesaro is going to look like he's got Roman beat, and then Seth is going to, and that's going to be the program working into WrestleMania is going to be Seth and Cesaro, I think.
I like
John
that.
Smith just completely stole my thunder. That's exactly what I have. I have Cesaro, and I have Seth Rollins interference. It's interesting if they do go that way. What's in my mind is like, they may even just do Rollins and Cesaro at Fastlane, because it seems like what Seth Rollins wants. He wants to be the locker room leader. He wants to be the top guy. He wants to say, I don't know, at the head of the table. So you could possibly get the Reigns-Rollins WrestleMania match we never got from WrestleMania 32, and I would have been the first ever PWP champion because I would have put Reigns in that match.
You're talking about a heel versus heel WrestleMania WWE Championship match or Universal match?
Yes.
Wow, that's bold.
I'm saying it's possible that they can go that route. They're gonna cross paths. If they're both fighting to be the top guy on the show, they're gonna butt heads at some point, and they don't like each other as it is. So it's not like
they don't.
The times of Seth Rollins being like a top guy are gone. He didn't pass the test. He's never going to be back up where Roman is right now ever again, in my opinion.
You're right.
He floundered as a face. I could see him being a top guy as a heel, though. But like you say, heel on heel action at WrestleMania, that might be even the bigger stretch.
It would, yeah. It's a bold prediction. I would say I'm not going to be upset at all if they do Cesaro and Rollins at WrestleMania. I would love to see that. By the way, James Wheeler at 15 years old knows what the finger poke of doom is. Like, how much wrestling has this kid watched? How much classic wrestling has this kid watched?
And the Griswold.
Finger poke of doom.
Love this guy.
If he's 15, that's. I bet you Tyler doesn't even know what the finger poke of doom is.
Maybe he mistyped when he typed 15. Maybe he's 35.
Maybe he's 35. Could be. All right, on to my top 30 WrestleMania favorite WrestleMania countdown. This week we are at number 8. Kind of funny. I was kind of wishing we were going to do this one last week. The reason why, because in pre-production, this show came up, and I know Travis Severance actually did his WrestleMania show on WrestleMania 24, but my number 8 pick from WrestleMania 24, my top 30 countdown, is probably the biggest win in Randy Orton's career. He defeated Triple H and John Cena to retain the WWE Championship, and that is something that it just doesn't happen too frequently, especially as a heel. It just doesn't happen all that often. And this was a young Randy Orton. This was a, hey, nothing you can say. Nothing's going to change what you've done to me. This was before he was hearing voices in his head, Randy Orton. Yeah, he walked in as champion. John Cena came out. The marching band, the University of Miami marching band, played John Cena's music. That was actually really awesome. If you go back and watch anything from Mixed Match, make sure you don't fast forward the entrances, because that was actually something. Triple H pedigreed John Cena, went to cover him. Randy snuck the punt in, kicked Hunter's head off, covered a pedigreed John Cena, and snuck out the win. And with this win, like I said, for those of you I've mentioned before, there have only been 3 men in WrestleMania history who have had longer than 4-match win streaks. Undertaker with 21, obviously. Edge had a 5-match win streak, and Daniel Bryan had a 5-match win streak. Cena had 4 broken twice. This was one of the losses. He won at 20, 21, 22, 23 before he took that L. Even John Cena can't get past 4. That's how tough it actually is.
So, Al.
Travis, there it is. Travis, great picks.
So, Al, yeah, that is one of Travis's favorite matches. Is probably the reason why one of the main reasons he picked that Mania. And since you're awfully deficient at trivia this month,
I haven't done it.
One about this match.
All right, just real quick, just to go back to Travis, real quick. Yes, Hunter is my Lord and Savior. It's Jesus Christ, Tom Brady, and Triple H. Like, those are the top 3 Lord, saviors of my life. This match was not about Hunter. This was about this guy right here. This one was for Randy. Like I said, it was the biggest win. I'm happy to lose to Randy, and it really didn't matter because Hunter got the one-on-one win over him the following year. So I'll take that straight off. So looks like I got to put on the smart cap, huh?
You want your trivia?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. What percentage of wrestling fans voted that Randy Orton would win this match? Your choices are 8, 15, 40, or 52.
That's right. They did the poll before this match. Okay, so what were the numbers again?
8, 15, 40, or 52.
Oh, he was 8. Yeah, it was below 10 if I remember correctly.
It was 8. Yeah. 8%
Yeah.
of wrestling fans thought Randy Orton would win the match.
Yep.
52 thought John Cena would win.
Yeah, that's what it is.
There you go. You're 1 for 1. I don't have my clips. I can't play your.
I thought I was doing a whole 5 from. Okay.
No, I just have the one question that I knew
Make sure I'm in the standings tomorrow, 1 for 1 with a perfect plex.
Yep.
There you go. That's it. That's all I will need. So that will bring us to our closing announcements. On to the giveaway. If you'd like to win this Jim the Anvil Neidhart autograph picture, courtesy of Sideline Sports and Memorabilia, all you have to do is go to this video on YouTube. The link for the YouTube video should be on the post you're watching if you're watching on Facebook. Hit the subscribe button, RKO that notification bell, and make the comment on this video with the hashtag EWP Anvil. We will be announcing the winner at 200 subscribers. We are almost there. People, start sharing this. We want to give this picture away. It's been too long. And then stay tuned to make sure you know when we will be announcing a winner. The Primetime Rundown, powered by StreamYard with Joey Jarzenka, Ian Schreier, and Rob DeLuca, is now airing at 6 p.m. on Friday nights. And a special shout-out to that gang who just celebrated 50 episodes this past Friday. Happy 50th episode, guys. We love you. We thank you for allowing us to do this. I know Joey is he is our Vince McMahon. He is our Eastern Observer. So without him, there would not be us. And congratulations on 50 episodes to Ian and Rob. And to Tyler, the sheriff, who apparently pops in every once in a while on that show as well. For more information on the show, please go to theeasternobserver.com. Then on the Daily Wrestling News Show, and actually today as well, happy 50th episode to Ryan Joy and the Daily Wrestling News Show. Seems like everybody's turning 50, but with us, we're still the young guys on the block, guys. We're still the young ones, the young lions here. Tune in to the Daily Wrestling News Show Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. This week, there is a Friday episode, as we mentioned. Gary Mehaffy will be on with the daughter of Hall of Famer British Bulldog. Her name is Georgia Smith. She will be talking about the documentary that is coming out about her father. I am looking forward to that one. I love the British Bulldog. I love both of them. I love Matilda. I love Winston. Give me all the Bulldogs, all of them. Please make sure you join Ryan and Ryan's Morning Cup of Joy, blah, 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 Eastern Observer. Okay, I forgot about that. I screwed this one up. Tune in all week long. It's for the special episode on Friday this week as well. The Body Slam News Brigade letter, that also comes out on Fridays, usually around 12 noon, unless Ryan is traveling from the South Coast up north just to play into the snow for a couple hours, and then he drives back home. Other than that, it's usually sent out at noon on Fridays. He talks about the hot topics of pro wrestling, and it is a great toilet bowl read whenever you get the chance to sit down and read it. And every Thursday on the EasternObserver.com, we highlight an article of the World Cup of Pro Wrestling. And this week's, well, let me tell you something, brother. You got the United States West Division. You got Team California and Captain Champion Hulk Hogan. What's you going to do when WWE and California runs wild on you? Anyway, this is the United States Western Division article. This is Article 5 of a 12-part series. This is the last article for the first round in the United States Division. Next week starts the World Pool. There are 4 pools in that as well. It is a good read. It is a short read. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fantasy matchups you can pick up in your head. To put together in your head, and I had a lot of fun writing it, so I would appreciate if you all went out and went to the EasternObserver.com or on any of the Facebook outlets that we are on and read these articles. Also, as we've been announcing since November, the Black Cats Free Cake NYC, Black Cats NYC, their new album Free Cake, is now available on all of these music outlets. You can go to Pandora, Spotify, YouTube, all the places that you can see us. You can kind of find the Black Cats NYC as well. Make sure you download their new album, Free Cake, available today. And then this one's for the ladies. This one's for the ladies. If you're upset with the whole process of putting on your eyelashes, let me tell you about these new magnetic lashes. There we go. That my wife is now proudly selling. Take a look at this picture of her, and as you can see, they look like just like the eyelashes you have on. except there are magnetic. You put on a magnetic eyeliner. There you go. And they just 10 tiny magnets in these lashes, and they just pop right on. It is a very simple process. And for those of you who don't believe me, we actually have a little bit of we have a little demonstration for you right here. Take a look. Man, I really wish I just had longer, fuller lashes, because you know what they say: the longer the lash, the closer to God.
Ding dong, hello. Allow me to tell you about magnetic lashes. Ladies, 2 coats of liner and they're on. Apply the first coat of liner, wait 30 seconds. Apply the second coat and wait till fully dry, approximately 2 minutes. Allow me to demonstrate.
Ding dong.
Man, I wish he stopped right there, Al.
Yeah. That was really simple. Yeah, so 30 seconds.
Why aren't you wearing the lashes right now, Al?
2 coats on. Now time to dry.
There he goes. I can probably pop them on real quick while I don't have the liner on.
Roll your lashes before putting them on, ladies.
There we go.
Oh, Jesus.
That's it. Pop right on. It's that simple.
And that's it. Simple.
Wow, this is very. I feel more confident, and I've never felt more beautiful in my entire life.
There you go. If you're interested in these magnetic lashes, contact me at Steph's Lovely Lashes on Facebook. Thank you all for joining.
So there you go. It's really that simple to put those on. Apparently, the process of doing lashes takes forever. It hurts. Apparently, I don't know if electricity is involved, but hey, and ladies, as you just saw, he'll like them too. All right. Thank you very much to the website. I got to promote my own site. How about that? Make sure you join us this weekend. Join us in the Central Wrestling Podcast pool on ProWrestlingPick'em.com. If you don't want to play us, you can always just create a private pool with just your friends and prove that you are the best. This season, the 2020-21 season, is wrapping up. A new season will start at WrestleMania. So Ryan Joy hit the nail on the head this morning. Just try it out, and then when the new season starts, the first pay-per-view after WrestleMania for the 2021-22 season, you will be all ready to go. Make sure you join us next week on the Essential Wrestling Podcast. Where did our graphic go? Oh, there it is. On the Essential Wrestling Podcast, we will be back for episode 42. It is our Jackie Robinson episode. We will be back next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Ryan Joy, anything you want to throw out there before we get out of here?
No, thanks. Yeah, just Daily Wrestling News Show is a lot of fun. We hit 50 episodes, like you said, and we've had good interviews and guests and things like that. John DeConnie, John Smith, Al Karl when he can make it, and if we can fit him in now because we've scheduled around him.
I got one fit.
Yeah. So please join us for that Daily Wrestling News Show every day at 10 a.m. or catch the replay.
All right, John Smith.
I'll catch you on the flip. Oh, stupid.
John DeConnie.
Kurt Angle in the background.
I just want to make sure. Did we clear the rights for Enter Sandman for next week's episode as our intro?
I have no idea. Metallica, that's a tough one. Even WWE's one doesn't want to do that twice. Even WWE doesn't want to do that. So it was a one-shot deal, and that's it. They don't want to do that. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching Alexa Bliss. We love you. Can't wait to see you resurrect the Fiend. I kind of want to see her challenge Roman Reigns. Maybe she's going to win the Chamber or beat Drew McIntyre. Tegan Knox got to be getting close. Looking forward to it. She's training with Captain Marvel as we speak. Cannot wait. Thank you very much, everyone watching. We will see you on the flip side.